So I was asked once, what definition would I give to political correctness? And I bet people were expecting me to say awesome or nasty things about it, or express emotionally, or give up some frustrations about it. I said, you're not gonna find any of that to me because I'm not that triggered by pieces of meaning. See, you have all the truths about this sick society, but you just prefer taking them at face level because, in the end, it is what most of us have been programmed to do. Well, I've also been there, done that, because in the end, when we don't see other points of view and we're surrounded by people who function by the same old points of view, for a long time, those are gonna be our truths and, well, even undeniable truths. So it is called political correctness because it suits them, or whatever you want to call them. It suits those who wet their panties that they're ruling this world. It suits them at a political level. So when you say politics, it is a very simple gimmick in English because politics sounds very similar with pile of ticks. And aren't politicians nothing else but ticks in society? You have been programmed for hundreds of years that this society functions at a what we call masculine level, or the masculine energy, or what we call tribalhood. Some people rule and some people just follow. See, you are being programmed to follow whatever society tells you, and you're also programmed to believe that society is only going to do the best for your own interest. I don't think that they're going to do the best for your own interest. Because when you look back in the times, everything that's happening, well, it is against you for sure. Because if they are ruling this society as they are thinking, and you're allowing them to do, well, take a look around. Your water is polluted, your air is fully polluted, and your food is fully polluted. They don't need any excuse for that. If you take a look even in mass media, they're just showing you how much they hate you and how much they want to see you dead. But you're still there in their programming and, inventing all sorts of, pathetic excuses for them and how their, influences on societies are slowly and surely killing all of us. If we have all this technology and you take a look at the pharmaceutical industry, there is no or very few medicines in this world that don't have a side effect because it's what I call the hook effect. Once you get the necessity to take some of their medicines, well, they might cure some part of your problem, but obviously they're going to have side effects. So they're going to slowly and surely trigger something else. I'm sure in this advanced age, we cannot simply create medicines that simply have no side effects, right? I mean, nature was so stupid to create the diseases, but not also come with um, the cures. Because I don't think nature would be that stupid. But the point is, people can be silly enough to believe this. And in the end, the disease in a sick society is always going to be far more profitable because, well, you can get a lot out of it. You can sell medicines, you can sell fake medicines, you can create false warnings, you can give people the impression that they're sick, you can select populations, and you can do populational controls. You can program people to function in a certain way when they have the slightest opinion that someone might be sick of something, right? Mentally, psychologically, or whatever. Such experiments were done throughout our history. Obviously, you're not going to be taught that in schools, but one such great example you most likely have lived is obviously the pandemic. So, if we are to look at this, political correctness is something that only suits them and their, what they call their regime. It's basically what narcissists do. They don't just torment you directly. Some of them have a certain approach in which they test you. They give you glimpses of what is the only that they can offer you. And, well, depending on your karma, if you're obsessing with abusive people, well, obviously you're going to step in. If you're not interested in what they have to offer, well, you're going to step out, obviously, and they're going to seek other people. Well, the problem is if they become obsessed with you, Because these people, these Zionists who are controlling or thinking that they are controlling the world, they are obsessed with killing everyone. It is part of their so-called belief. And they embraced Judaism, a certain part of it, and as well they embraced the idea of modern Satanism, which is all about killing others. Well, not Satanism necessarily, not only Satanism about that, but let's not forget a part of Judaism is all about a certain people being the so-called chosen people, and they have to exterminate everyone else. Because, well, that's what is written in their magical book. If you look at something called the Gemara or whatever it's called, and especially in the Talmud, right? There's a lot of hideous things which make Judaism the apex of xenophobia and also, racism. But they're using xenophobia and racism as terms to, point at other people because it is how miserable people function. They're doing things, but you're not allowed to do those to them. They're abusing you, but you're not allowed to abuse them. Even if you look at America and how it has functioned, right? It always bullied the weaker countries, but no one was allowed to do anything against them, right? Because they have the God complex. They have the God syndrome. They can do anything, right? Because that's also what they believe from their so-called magical book. Well, if you believe that you're above everyone else and your only purpose is to exterminate them at your own will, well, you should be simply put in psychiatry wards and not allowed freedom anymore. Because I don't think creation would be that stupid to select a bit of it and proclaim it as superior to anyone else. You're personifying creation, which is yet another sickness, if you ask me. But political correctness is all about this which I presented you before, abusing others while so-called disallowing them from reacting, right? It is a means through which you give attention to certain kinds of people with severe cases of ignorance, and also the idea of lacking attention at a very deep level. When you combine these two, you get the perfect people for political correctness. Because people who are in extreme misery will accept the first so-called truth that will make them feel better. And NGOs nowadays have this perverted aspect of putting people, theoretically, like-minded people together. They're not like-minded people, they're programmed what to think, and they feel very safe when they're surrounded by other people who think alike. They're calling themselves loving people, but they're disregarding, disrespecting, and even cursing, swearing, and even becoming aggressive with anyone who is thinking otherwise, right? I'm guessing you are well accustomed to such ideas. And in the end, it shows itself. I don't need to judge it because I've said I don't need to judge people. Their actions and beliefs and ways of speaking and thinking are simple judgments of their own behaviors and what they think they are. Because what you are is something different than what you think you are. A lot of people, unfortunately, live at that mental level that they are this, they are that, and that's why their life is so depressing. Because you're not a piece of meaning, you're way beyond that. But meaning can have a very degrading level if you simply accept it that way. You see a lot of people, they only identify themselves as their job, this, that, a certain potential. They don't believe anything else outside of their senses. That is a very minor way of living life. Life will always tend towards that which is beyond these limitations, and that's why you will feel depressed. Because life will tend and crave everything else which is beyond that. But when you simply limit yourself to only that, depression is going to be your only guide. So, this whole point of, how to put it, political correctness, remember that it is only an agenda. Agendas are made to suit some people, not everyone. When you see a sick society only promoting a minority over the majority, a minority only has power when the majority is asleep, because it is always going to be the power of the majority. When the majority sleeps, well, the others will have time to do whatever they will. And when you sleep in a sick society, the others will take their time to trample you. It is your time to wake up in the end. Hopefully this video raised a bit of awareness. You are appreciated. Take care. Enjoy life. And this being said, Ferenc Board signing out.